Camel Up. Camel Up.
Camel
This
Cup.
is a Lookout Games is the copy that I have. I know Eager Spiel did a copy, but this is the copy that I have is Lookout Games. It is a racing game for 3 to 8 players, plays in about 30 minutes. It says it's 8 and up. It's Egyptian-themed camel racing betting game. So it's themed in Egypt. You're what appear to be worldwide travelers in Egypt betting on camels that are racing. The crazy part about this are just that, the crazy camels. The crazy camels come in and they get to race in the opposite direction of all the other camels, wreaking havoc in the game. So what are the beans? The beans are the basics. The enjoyment, the aesthetics, the negatives, and the summary. And in the summary, we give you buy, try, or deny is how we tend to do our summaries here on the Beans and Dice podcast. We try to keep it simple. So let's get into the basics. How does it play? In Camel Up, you're going to play between 3 and 8 players. You're going to be playing the role of or a character. So not really a role, but you'll be given a character just to identify you separately. They don't do anything asymmetrically different. But what you're going to be doing is watching camels race around a board. Each racing camel, as they call them, has a different color. There are 5 racing camels in the game, and those 5 racing camels have a different color and a matching corresponding die that goes along with that color. You're going to take all those D6 dice, and I believe they range between 1 and 3 on the numerical value of the D6s. You're going to put those dice into this pyramid cup, dice shaker, dice tower, dice contraption. And then on top of that, you're going to throw in this 6 gray dice. And the gray dice represents the 2 crazy camels I talked about a little earlier. The 2 crazy camels, one is white, one is black. They get a gray die to represent both of them. So you got 6 dice in a pyramid, and players are going to take turns doing one of the following things. 1, they can move the race along. So they can take an Egyptian pyramid token, and at that point, shake 1 die out of the pyramid and activate that color that comes out, that number of spaces. That camel will then move around the board, that number of spaces based on the color. The second thing you can do is you can take a betting ticket. There are 5 stacks of betting tickets, 1 for each color of the racing camels. There are 4 tickets per stack. In each stack, the top ticket, that's the first one that's visible, has the highest value, and then the bottom 2 tickets have the lowest value. So those that get tickets first can win more. They're going to pay out based on, did that color ticket that you buy place first or place second? And then anything other than first or second, you actually pay back to the bank. So that's how you take betting tickets. Next, you have an option to take the overall betting bets. You're going to have a hand of cards, 1 of each color for the racing camels. You can place one of those colored cards that you have of yours on one of the overall betting stacks. There are 2 overall betting stacks. You can either bet overall winner or you can bet overall loser. If you bet overall winner and you go in early and you're right, you're going to win money, more money than people that come in later. So you want to get there sooner. You want to place those bets first because the first persons to go to the overall betting spots will gain more money. If you place the wrong bet, you will lose money. I think it's just minus $1 for each wrong bet. And then finally, the last thing you can do is move a spectator token. Each player is going to get a spectator token. You can place that spectator token on one of the spaces on the track, and you can either cheer on a camel that lands there by giving it +1 movement, or you can boo the camel that lands on there by giving it a -1 movement. I believe those are all the actions, if I'm trying to remember this game right.
And we know Carlos reads the rules thoroughly each and every time.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I will clarify one thing, that the black camel is an expansion promo thingy. It's just white. It's 5 colors plus the white camel.
Okay, well, this is the new edition of Camel Up, and it comes right into the base game.
Oh, does it? Okay.
So, Wayne, I think you picked up a new copy?
I did, yeah.
The new copy comes with white and black built in.
Interesting, okay.
It didn't even say anything about it being an expansion. So they must have added that in.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is one final action that is able to be played with 6 or more players. There's an action where you can create a partnership. You can ask another player to be your partner, and they cannot refuse. At that point, you swap your partnership cards, and then each of you has the opportunity to use that card to trigger bonus dollars, to trigger one of their bets as if it was yours. So it's like, if I think Rob made a good bet, if I'm the first, I can be like, Rob, we're partners. And you can't refuse, and you got to give me your card, and I can use your card to activate one of your bets that you won with to win money with. So that's, I don't know if that's expansion or...
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So we're going to do this.
I haven't heard of that.
We're going to do this until a leg of a race occurs. A leg of a race occurs when 5 dice come out of the dice tray. So 5 camels have been activated. It triggers the end of a leg. A leg of the race will then score any of the betting tickets, not the overall bets, but the betting tickets. So you'll gain money and lose money based on the betting tickets. And then you're going to reset the betting tickets in the order I described before. The top one gives out the most payout, second gives out less, third and fourth give out the least. And then you put the dice back into the pyramid and restart another leg. And you're going to keep doing legs of the race until a camel crosses the finish line, which triggers the end of the game, where you'll immediately do one more leg scoring, and then overall scoring. He with the most money wins the game. That's Camel Up. That's the basics.
You missed one of the basic things, though, that makes the game interesting and exciting is the stacking of the camels. I don't think you mentioned that at all, did you?
We didn't talk about movement with the camels. When a camel moves, they don't just move into a space. If another camel is already in the space that the camel ends in, that camel goes camel up right on top of the other camel. And that camel will then become the first place camel. You look at the stack of the camels top to bottom. If there's a stack of camels, the top camel is in first, and then on down.
Yeah, I think
if stack 3 or 4 high.
Yeah, 3 or 4 high. And if the die that comes out is the camel on the bottom, it moves everybody, even the people above it. So that's where the real sort of funkiness happens. Chaos is you're rooting sometimes for you want the die for the camel on top because you want him to keep moving and leave everyone else behind, or your camel is on the bottom and you want it to move, because you've bet heavily on it type thing. So there's fun there.
And it's crazy because you get these 2 other black and white camels that are moving in the opposite direction, and they only move in the opposite direction, counterclockwise to the racetrack. And if they end up having camels on top of them, whenever the black or white camel move, that camel takes along all those camels backward. So it really adds some chaos theory to the game.
Mm-hmm. Actually, the first time I played was at Dice Tower. It was with our Beansanddice group. I can't remember who was teaching it, but whoever taught the game, Michelle, she took that camel completely out. She's like, I don't like that chaos. It just kind of ruins the game. She goes, so we didn't even play with that camel. We played with the stacking, but all the camels moved forward. Nobody ever went backwards. So
Rob and his Euro gamers can't stand the chaos.
There you go. Too much chaos.
So now we move to the E, the enjoyment of the game. What are some of the things that we enjoy with Camel Up? I think for me, right off the bat in the enjoyment piece is that chaos. And it wasn't prevalent in my game until the end of the game. Most of the game was pretty standard, pretty down, down force, pretty ready, set, bet, kind of okay, it's a race. I'm just going to use strategy and statistics to try to figure this out. And then as we got towards the end of the actual race, when we got around that last corner, we met up with the 2 crazy camels and chaos ensued, and it was so much fun.
Strategery.
Yeah, there you go. All out the window.
The enjoyment for me is that it goes back to the same thing as chaos, but I think what it is it's chaos in a quick format, right? And I think that's what makes this game and like Thunder Road, when you play with the right people, is it's chaos in quick format. If you were playing a 2-hour game of this, it would get stale and monotonous and oh great, another chaos thing happened. So it's the quick play. It's that leg done score, and the legs are only as long as those 5 dice. So it's boop, 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 done. So there's a very finite amount of chaos. So it is a controlled chaos is I think where the enjoyment really comes in, because it's going to be quick, it's going to be dirty, it's going to happen quick, and there's the hoot and hollering that you get with Ready Set Bet, where it's like, come on, there's 3 dice in there, and you really need the blue one to come out, and you click the button, and it's not the blue one. Everyone goes, so it's that's the enjoyment, that encapsulated chaos.
Big part of the enjoyment for me is also the decision of when to bet on a camel, either to win or lose, because you want to be the first one. So it's like, all right, well, this is the round. I'm feeling pretty good about the blue camel. So when it gets around to me, I'm third in turn order. I'm going to lay that.
Nope. He lost.
He laid it. He laid it.
That camel
and
killed
that's a big part of the race, is that decision space of
when to bet.
Because you get $1 every time you move a camel. So whenever you activate the camel, you get $1 for doing that. An English pound, Egyptian pound, as they call it. But as Rob was saying, you have to balance that. Do I move a camel and get $1 there, or do I now place that bet?
Yep. Rob, you're muted. You can't hear. No, can't hear you.
He's working on his audio situation over there on the Wesley Chapel Beans and Dice. And then a big part of that for me too is the legs, right? Wayne brought it up. The game itself is a fast game, 30-minute game. The legs, they're so quick to happen. You're getting little rushes of dopamine every time you're scoring a leg, getting a few points here and there, getting some points for having activated camels. So there's always these little injects of dollars at you throughout the game. Whereas a Ready Set Bet or a downforce, you don't see the rewards until the full end of the race. So that little inject of money throughout the race, these little side leg bets, really improve the feelings of the game. So then another enjoyment for me is being able to control the pace of the game. So my son got an early lead. He had some really good leg bets up front. And then from then on, he realized, I've got a good stack of coins. I need to rush the end of this race. And it became his mission, no matter what I felt, the right decision was take a betting chip. Because one of these betting tickets, that red camel is going to end in first place. We know it. Like, we know it's going to end soon. It's going to be in first place. No one else is catching up to it. Taking that betting ticket's the right answer, but in his mind, rushing the end game was the right answer, and that's all he kept doing was activating camels to try to control the pace of the game.
Yeah, I agree. That's the best part of this game, and I think this game is not a new game, so it's been around a while, and it has stayed very popular because of that, right? I think games that have longevity now, whether they be a 3-hour Euro or a 30-minute fast game like this, you have to hit the cadence right? There has to be those, not necessarily the quick, fun, simple turns, but it has to be like, am I looking forward to my next turn? Am I looking for the next turn of event? Is the pace of the game moving at a rate that keeps me engaged? And this game keeps you engaged the entire time, because you're waiting for that next person, and as the turns are coming around, you're looking at the next person going, what is it? Don't
please don't pull a die.
Don't pull a die, or don't pull that bet, or I needed to come. So
I just need one more bet. I just need to do one more bet.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Rob, you back?
Nope.
No, he's not. All right. No. So then we got there's E for enjoyment, and we're gonna go to A for aesthetics. And Wayne, I've never seen the first version. I don't know if you have the first version or if you only have the second.
It's really, I mean, the camels are all the same. It's not the biggest difference between the first and second version is the pyramid. In the first version, the pyramid was cardboard and you put it together and it kind of didn't work super well. And in the new version, it's plastic and it kind of doesn't work super well. But at least it stays together, right?
Yeah.
Dan, you played either version?
No, I've never played it.
Okay.
That's why I'm being quiet.
Okay. I was wondering. Yeah, I figured that was the case. But yeah, I don't think there's tremendous difference between the first. There's some art on the cover they make it clearer that it's Camel Up, not Camel Cup or whatever. And then there's the dice tower or pyramid is really the biggest difference. I think as far as I remember.
All right, did we get Robert back?
Rob, can you hear us?
Mic check, Robert. Negative. He can't hear us. All right, we can't hear him. Okay, so let's talk about some aesthetics. For me, the artwork is strong. The characters, I don't know what we call them, cartoons, the design of the characters, it really does feel themed to that World War I era, pre-World War II Egyptian, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Right.
Lawrence
the characters here, the you got the lady with the French beret on, and the scoundrel with the cap, and they're cute, very cute art. The colors are simple to tell, but each camel not only has a color, it also has a symbol for those that are colorblind. So like the red camel always has a circle on it. The green camel always has a hex or a pentagon on it. So you can tell color-wise that they thought about that. The tokens are thick, and then the money is actual plastic chips. So you got actual plastic coins, and they could have gave you cardboard coins, but they chose to go with plastic. So that's very nice to them.
Yeah, I think the first version was cardboard.
Cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
The camels themselves are plastic. It's a thicker plastic. It's kind of weird to say. I don't know.
It seems like that's really the big difference. It went from like cardboard and wood tokens to plastic.
Yep, and they stack easy. The plastic ones kind of stick a little bit, especially the black and the white camels where they're facing the wrong direction. I've had where you pick up a camel and it kind of grabs the ones underneath it and topple the stack, but that wasn't that big of a deal. But the reason people are here is the pyramid. That's the main gimmick of this game, is this pyramid dice tray cup mechanism where you put the dice inside the pyramid, turn it upside down, shake it, push a button, and one die is supposed to fall out. Rarely did I have an issue with it. For the most part, when someone shook it, flip it, and pushed the button, we got one die out of it. Wayne, what issues did you have?
It's finicky a little bit. So, I mean, you pick it up and shake it and you put it down. The button for the dice release, you have to press it really fully. Like if you only get a half press, you might not get a out. If you hit it too long and lift up too quickly, you might get two dice out. So it is a little finicky. It's definitely still much better than the cardboard one, at least that we used in the past. But anytime you have a dice tower or a dice thing in those games, Shogun and what's the other one?
Wallenstein.
No, I'm trying to think of the Knizia Feld one that came out that had 50 million different actions, but had a dice tower that people kept talking about. I'll think of it, but they never quite work perfectly, right? There's always little issues with it, but the plastic one certainly works a lot better than the cardboard one. But I did notice, at least with my copy, that you have to really hit the button in pretty good to make sure it's fully in and then lift. And it
was annoying. I do agree. The gimmick was a little annoying. We could have had a dice cup and just pick one die out of the cup. Having to put them inside there, shake it, turn it. But my son loved it. He loved the pyramid. It was a great gimmick.
The toy factor makes it worthwhile.
Yep. Let's go to negatives. Negatives on this, I could not think of any. Right. I really just
I really can't. Yeah, the only negative would be if you do have the dice delivery system, if it doesn't work, if it over time the mechanism starts to stick more or gets a little warped, it's plastic, so it can bend a little bit. That's really the only negative I can see. I mean, really, or there's not. You could bet on some horses or some camels early, and then they get swept away. But I think. You can have games of this where you do miserable, but it's only 30 minutes. So you just re-rack and play again, or you move on to another game. So the games where you do poorly in this game, could that be a negative? Yeah, because there's some luck of the die roll, luck of this, luck of that. But it's such a short game. Who cares? So
Oh, what I didn't bring up in the aesthetics, Wayne. I opened the board up, and I was so surprised. As soon as I opened the board up, this pyramid like oasis popped up. It's like these pop-up books from when we were kids.
What copy did you get?
This was just the most recent version. I think I heard Robert in the background there.
Yeah, maybe.
I think his mic is coming back.
I almost need to go get my copy to see.
Yeah, Rob, I think I got some audio from you.
Hey.
Did your version of Camel Up have a pop-up tree? Did you have a pop-up tree?
I did not have a pop-up tree in mine. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what copy you got, man. You must have got
in
some
small
crazy...
print. If the pop-up tree stays up for more than 4 hours, seek immediate medical attention.
You might have a problem.
Right. I'm gonna go run and get my copy real quick because I don't think I have a pop-up tree.
That was a full surprise. Like I opened the board, and I'm like, whoa, what's this in my face?
Well, I know the old version certainly did not have that. So the one I don't know if there was one or two printings previously. I think there might have actually been two. This was the third time.
This was a very reasonably priced game. So like to think about the pop-up tree, the plastic pyramid, the components in this game, all the plastic coins. I was very pleasantly surprised with that. I can't believe I forgot to bring that up in the aesthetics. But negative-wise, Wayne only had chaos. I only had chaos. I can't think of anything else negative with this game. Robert, other than your game teacher taking away one of the funnest aspects of the game, what negatives did you have?
I played twice. Like I said, the one time we took those backwards camels out. The second time I played was with those camels. But I can't think of a whole lot of negatives either. I mean, it's simple to teach. It's fairly quick. Hey, he's got the pop-up. There you go. But
I haven't played this one yet, so
yeah, chaos would be the only thing. Is if you've got a group of serious Euro gamers and you start throwing in all that chaos, it can be a little frustrating. That hey, I want to make a bet. I got the odds. I know who's probably going to win. If the dice roll the right way. But other than that, it's just a fun game.
All right. So as we get to the end of this summary and open up the phone lines here shortly, in summary, I think this is a game that any gaming family or any gaming person should own. I loved Ready Set Bet, right? Like Michael Lorenzo, the Your Turn crew, like all of us getting together and playing some Ready Set Bet was awesome. However, that is a bigger group game. That's more of a party game. This one I think gave me so much of those feels of the excitement, the stand-up moments in a smaller package that can play 3, 4, all the way up to 8 players without really, losing anything. For me, this is now probably my favorite racing betting game.
So buy, try, or deny, you're saying a buy.
It's a must. This is a must-have.
It's a must-buy.
Okay. 2 out of 10.
All right. 2 out of 10, exactly.
So I hadn't played my copy yet. So I've only played. I took my copy out and I unboxed it, but I didn't undo the board. I kind of messed with the pyramid. That's what I was saying. Like it's sticking a little bit. So, hey, I got the pop-up thing too. Cool. And yeah, I confirmed. Mine also has the white and the black camels. I'm a buy on this. And here's why. Because often it's a game that's been around a while. Been out 10 plus years probably now. And you can often pick it up pretty cheap. And so given the price of games today, newish games are in that $60 range and more. You can regularly find this on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and even at your local game stores much cheaper. So for the price, you can't beat this game. I think
3 to 8 players.
3 to 8 players, 30 minutes of game time. You can pick it up for $30. 100%.
Yeah.
Now if this game was $60 or $70, I might be more of a try thing. But the fact that you can regularly get this game for sub $40, it's a buy.
I would agree. I think I'm in the same boat. If even for your serious Euro gamer, if you enjoy a fairly quick racing game that's just a little bit of silliness, a little bit of chaos, or sometimes a lot of chaos, I say this game is definitely one that you should probably pick up. And like Wayne said, you can usually get it pretty cheap, so that's a big part of it. For a higher price point, I think I agree would probably be kind of a borderline. The components are good; they're not great, but I mean that little tower and everything, I call Tower of the Pyramid, is a really cool, neat little gimmick on it. One of the versions I played, the pyramid didn't work so well, so we kind of had to ditch the pyramid. So it's mechanical, so I mean it could have its problems, but anyway, I'd say overall that this is, if you can get it at a decent price, I think it's a must buy if you like racing games and you don't mind a little bit of chaos. Yeah.
Yep.
And Dan, I know you're not on a buying trip at all anytime soon. Like that's not your thing, Dan. But in the way we described it, what are your thoughts on Camel Up?
I think I might not like it because you mentioned Ready Set Bet, and I do not like that game. Not that I think it's a bad game. I don't like real-time games where you have to do things. I am awful at them. The few times I've played Ready Set Bet, as soon as the race starts, I just start plonking stuff down and just sit back and see what happens.
And that's where I think you might like this one, though, Dan, is because it's not real time.
It's turn-based.
It's turn-based. Yeah. So on your turn, you take the bet or not take the bet. I know you like racing games. You like a little chaos, and you like betting. I'll
give it a shot.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy this game. I don't know if you would necessarily buy it, but I think if we bust it out and be like, let's play, be like, I like this because it's not turn-based. It's racing. I do think you would like it. I think my guess would be it would be like a try for you. But yeah,
we'll find out when we get it to the table with you.
Yeah, we'll have to get it to the table.
Yeah, maybe
that's been another edition of Giveth the Beans, where we give you the beans on games that we play and like.
Yep.
For more, Give It the Beans. Suggest any games that you want to see us play. You can email us at beansanddice@gmail.com. Let us know what games you think we should be giving you the beans on. And at this point, we will be opening up the phone lines. 813-618-7099 is the phone number. We'll open up the phone lines to talk to you about what you've been up to gaming-wise.